Hello everyone, this is Terry from Genki Gaming TV, and we're back with our review of Yokai Watch Jam, or Yokai Academy, Encounters with the Other In, or with the In, or Close Encounters with the In kind. Today's episode is episode 3, Back to the Morning. Don't Step on It, or Baku the morning sore o funde wa ikenai. Okay, this episode was kind of crappy. Okay, it wasn't bad, guys. I'm not saying it was bad. I was trying to do a pun, and I know I failed entirely, but this episode was amazing. Despite the poop jokes, it was good. And the poop jokes actually built towards the plot. I think they realized they can do jokes and have it actually build right. Basically, this episode reminds me a lot of the American movie Groundhog Day. I'm not sure if my European or Asian or South American viewers know about it. But there's this movie called Groundhog Day, and it's about a guy who goes to Patsasani, Pennsylvania, or whatever the town is with the whole Saxopani. But basically, this guy relives the same day over and over and over and over, and it's about him trying to find the way to improve himself and to go to the next day. Basically, he does a whole bunch of bad stuff, he does a bunch of good stuff, then eventually he realizes what is right to do. It's kind of like this episode has a little bit of parody to that. Basically, it starts off with our darling little angel Fubuki, which reminds me, I need to Fubuki Himekawa. I need to use her actual name, Fubuki-san, with her waking up in her cute little PJs, and her looking at her clock, and I think it shows 8:05, or 8:05, and of course, Jinpei, Sandayu, and Mataro are waiting for her. So they go and they have breakfast. Jinpei chows down, like legitimately, he shonen chows down on his food. And Mataro goes to crack an egg, and it actually has double yolks. And then Jinpei checks out his pan or his bread, and it's shrimp and gyoza. Man, that would be delicious. I'm hungry right now. Someone send me food. I'm kidding about that. Don't send me food, but I need to eat once I'm done this. But then they get prepared to leave and head to school. And upon leaving, Fubuki's walking down the steps. She sees the dog, doesn't think much of it, and accidentally steps into Digimon-style poop. And I say Digimon-style poop because the first time I saw poop in a video game, it was like that pinkish orange-colored poop from Digimon. In the anime, it was always like pink, but in the games, it was like a orange shade or a pink shade, depending upon the game itself. At least from Digimon World 1 and World 2. Speaking of Digimon, the Digimon anime is restarting apparently, or a new version of it is going to be airing. Please comment down below if you would like me to cover Digimon. Right now it's Yokai Watch and Pokemon, and if they would announce a new Monster Rancher anime, I would drop everything and just do that as well. I like monster collecting things. But as soon as she steps on the poop, she yells and screams, "Yeah!" And then she's teleported back to the morning. And I went, yeah, because it's a generic girl scream, or a generic scream in Japanese. So, Hime thinks that, or Fubuki-san thinks that she should try to avoid it. So she sees the dog, she sees the poop, she has like a little bit of a panic moment after she relives the breakfast of Mataru finding a double yolk egg, Junpei in his shrimp gyoza pan, which that combination just sounds so delicious. I want some spam musubi now. Ignore that point. I must be hungrier than what I thought I was, but back to the episode. Basically, everyone else runs ahead. She jumps over the dog poop, the Digimon dog poop, and begins walking towards school. When Mataru mad rushes towards her, causing her to spin out of control, then backstep into the poop, and she flashes back to the morning. She jumps ahead. She yells at Mataru for getting a huge plate of curry rice. She begins trying to rocket boot to school. Her rocket boots malfunction. She falls backward, lands headfirst in the poop, screams again, repeats the morning. This continues several times. Even with her rocket booting to school, making there on time, the dog comes into the classroom, poops in the classroom. She steps in the poop. She screams and panics again. She's having a really crappy paradox. And I'm even ignoring the fact the pudding guy from the beginning of this episode. I originally thought that he was just like there to be there. Like I think his role is just going to be more than what I'm initially believing it is. I really need to learn more about that guy. Maybe that will help my Japanese listening skills improve a little bit. But I do digress. So, Hime-san gets to school. She goes to gym class. She avoids stepping in poop during track by throwing her baton like a shuriken or like a throwing knife or a boomerang, and it knocks the poop into the air, bounces off a bunch of things, and eventually lands in a lady's bag that is then stolen. And upon it being stolen, it ends up at the long jump spot, and Fubuki-san jumps into it, and she's screaming and panicking when she wakes up, and she eventually begs the guys for a little bit of assistance. She doesn't technically beg, but she really asks. So, yeah. And I noticed something that I shouldn't have noticed. Akane was in this episode. And Akane just shows up for like a mere moment. Like, you barely see her. I don't even think I have a screenshot of it. I just realized that I think I saw her. But that's besides the point. Let's get back to the review. Basically, they talk to Whisper Sensei. Whisper's like, nah. Yeah, you guys might actually be wrong. It might not be what you think it is. But it was. It was a onryo, or an onryo, and I think right now I'm gonna go into some greater details about what a onryo is. It's like a evil spirit from Buddhism. It's like a vengeful spirit or soul. I think I may do a separate video on it. And onryo, like, isn't your typical yokai, because a lot of yokais are like pranksters and or people or things that have had a bad time in life that have become bitter over time. A onryo is a vengeful spirit that constantly wants vengeance. and nothing can really state that as far as I know. But I know that there's like a positive version of a Onryo, because I think there's, I don't want to call it like a Buddhist demon, but it's like a Buddhist deity that looks demonic, and there's like two of them, and they're brothers. I wish I knew their names off the top of my head. I have to do a video on Onryo now, but basically it's the clock guy. The clock hanging in the cafeteria tells a sad little story about what's happened after Haruhiko Usumizawa throws his dark gear, I mean his hair missile or hair dart with dark energy, and transforms the little clock boy Budoken Kuraku into Kurakuman. And yeah, do we still think Whisper is just testing people, or do we think he's actually evil? Because clearly the wiki is implying he is evil, because the wiki said that Clockman was inspirited by dark energy imbued in a strand of Haruhiko Usumizawa's hair. I mean, a lot of you have like messaged me or told me in the comments that Whisper's not evil. I'm kind of on the fence about it now, since it says dark energy, but sometimes you have people who have dark energy that are an ally, that are like a anti-hero or something. I think it might be that situation, but I'm not entirely sure. But we get a tragic backstory, and Budoken Kuraku uses Ore instead of Boku or Watashi or Atashi. Ore is kind of like an uncouth version of I, me. So I really feel that he was really frustrated, angry, plus the fact that he was inspirited, like all of that frustration, that torment kind of added up. We get a backstory of him being purchased by this nice little couple, the couple having kids, the couple growing old, and everyone kind of disappearing, people dying off and such. But this all really kind of continued onward, like to the point of the old man, the master of the clock, putting the clock in a box. Little did Clocky Boy, or Broken Clock, realize that his master was basically dying. And like the sadness really sets in when he realizes that his master had passed away. He doesn't realize it initially though, which really makes this build up good, because he's like, I hate humans, I despise humans. They are horrible, wretched creatures. So we get a battle between our hero, Jinpei, and Clockman. The clock stops, or the clock toes for no one. Or for someone. Like, you get the point. I was trying to make a fun segue that didn't end up sounding nearly as fun as what it was. But with the help of Kingo Benimaru and the help of Mataro, and the fact that Fubuki's ice powers have kind of awakened a little bit, because she was able to launch Mataro into the clock's pendulum after some time controlling, time reversing shenanigans by Broken Clock or Clockman, causing Kingo Benimaru's slashes to basically do nothing. And I still have to say, these transformations, like the hero form transformations, are still great. I actually love them. I actually sit through them for a while there for the Fudomio stuff. I just kind of like, I've seen this like at least 4 times. I'm skipping past it. So, yeah. Basically, due to Motaro's distraction, we were able to defeat Clockman. And I think it's Ranto Kirigakure, the son of the old man, or of the owner of the clock, shows up and explains the backstory about his dad being really sick and about the clock being donated to the school, or given to the school, I think. That the old man wanted to do something good and wanted the clock to be used and appreciated. Like, some of that was like reading in between the lines a little bit. But this episode has something I like, or someone I like a lot. Natsuki. She shows up, she gives Fubuki her YSP Yokai watch, and then our little broken clock buddy becomes super duper adorable and chibi and has a smiley face. I mean, I love this design. If I had the medal of this guy, I would be so happy. One of my favorite new designs thus far. And Natsuki basically explains the Fubuki that, hey, you're a hero now. You're now Clock Lady. And Fubuki's like, whoa. Or like, wow. And we get a cute little end scene of Jinpei holding Broken Clock and like him botching the pronunciation of Broken Clock's name. And we get a scene here at the end of Whisper like standing outside alone. And we also get student council scene as well. Basically, hey, the YSP club just got another hero. And them being kind of disgruntled. Like, I wish I remembered names as well. Like, I am really bad with remembering character names because the stuff still being relatively fresh. So, give me one moment. I guess Ronto. Yeah, it's not Ronto. Ronto is the student council guy. So the wiki didn't even give me the name of the old man's son. So Ronto now knows that the YSP have another hero. So I apologize for the error I had earlier. I wanted to double check that. Also, this episode was great. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like always, the link to the episode is down below in the description. I don't know how many people actually watched to this point in the video, so I should have said that earlier. Have an amazing day. I love and appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. When in doubt, Groundhog Day Clock Lady for the win? Question mark? I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.